start it off in May. My suck bag award should go to Alek Manoah because I just continue to see him look like. I mean, is this a suck bag? Is this not like the biggest drop off in Major League Baseball right now? A guy who finished third in AL Cy Young voting to arguably the worst pitcher in Major League Baseball. But I'm going to go with his teammate. Yusei Kikuchi has a 6.29 ERA in May, which is the fifth worst in Major League Baseball. Against the Braves and the Red Sox, two good offenses, 4 innings pitched, 5 earned runs against both of them. Orioles, again, another tough offense, but he didn't get out of the fifth. And then he got bombed by the Rays, but he did shove for 6 shutout against the Pirates. And the reason I'm bringing him up is it's easy to bag on Alek Manoah. And Alek Manoah isn't the suck bag award for May because he's just had a really bad season to this point. So I chose the guy who had a 3 ERA entering the month of May and then now sits with almost a 5.00 ERA. He just allows some of the hardest contact that you're going to find. And it was in his peripherals early on in the season. People were excited to see this Kikuchi, but the reality is like he's probably still that 4.50 ERA guy, a fifth starter in the back end, not someone you want throwing in playoff games. So when I look at the Blue Jays rotation, I'm like, I cannot trust Alek Manoah at all. Barrios is, I mean, he's not horrible. Kikuchi, I just cannot trust. And then you got Bassett and Gausman. This team, again, as we're speaking right now, another loss to the Rays. So they just went into the Trop. They put up a 20-1 performance. Then they lost 3 of 4. This Blue Jays team is in trouble. They're in trouble, I think. I mean, I still believe in them. I'm not going back on
contenders.
Well, I did say contenders, and I still believe in them, but they are in trouble. Objectively, like there are things that they need to fix ASAP.
Yeah. I think you probably gave Kikuchi the edge because you're disappointed in him.
I was disappointed because I was like, oh shit, like this is a good arm for the Blue Jays, right? The peripherals said otherwise, but I'm like, no, like I think he can be okay.
Yeah.
But then it just all unraveled. And I was like, all right, never mind. So
right.
that's
so
where
you're out. You're out.
I mean, define out, I guess. Like I think he's a 5, maybe.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
like,
he's on par with what he was then. He's not any, your perspective.
Like I was like
23.
Like our friends, the Gate 14 podcast, like they're talking about bearded Kikuchi, look great in spring training. I'm like, oh, that's huge for the Blue Jays. Then he got off to a great month in April. I'm like, oh shit, like maybe this is something. Maybe he can outperform those peripherals. Nope.
Yeah. Beard does look good. I will say that.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I think I'm guilty of this too. I'm quick to pounce on the negativity with the Blue Jays because I was expecting so much from them this year. So like as soon as you see them start to falter a little bit, I look to point a finger at somebody. And I think in May, Kikuchi is probably that guy because Manoah sucked in April and May.
Yeah.
Barrios has sucked since the start of 2022. Like that's the thing. So it's Kikuchi that you point at, right? In April, everybody was pointing at Varsho. Now I don't know who they're pointing at in May, but yeah, like on the hill. I'm talking in the lineup, but shit, it might still be Varsho. I don't know. But I think that he is probably the best poster boy of Blue Jay frustration in May.
That's why I didn't want to buy into the Blue Jays this year. I'm like, they got to prove something. Them and the Padres. I mean, the Padres did more, but I'm like, these teams are hyped every year in the preseason and they just perpetually fall below expectations. It's like, oh, the Blue Jays have this great team. Let's see them do it. And they haven't done it thus far. They are 26-25 as we sit here today. Like,
that's, they got some stuff to figure out. It's like, it's funny. The Twins rotation, like the Twins had like similar challenges and I feel like they've pieced it together so much better than the way that the Blue Jays tried to piece it together. Both kind of went via the trade, a little bit of free agency, a little bit of trade, and has not worked out for them.
And it's funny, the Barrios trade from Minnesota.
Yeah, what are we from? The team that needed pitching traded Barrios. I should probably tell you something. Like they saw the writing on the wall somewhere.
That's a good point. The team that needed pitching traded away Jose.
It wasn't
Barrios.
Like they were going full rebuild. They weren't fully hitting the reset button. Like
I never thought about that.
We're good on. I never really thought about it either. It doesn't.
It's a good ass point.
Sense.
Here's the thing, man. Beginning of last year, if I offered you one trio for the next 5 years, who would you take? beginning of 2021, before anybody threw a pitch, or in 2022, before anybody threw a pitch in 2022, for the next 5 years, were you taking the trio of Manoah, Barrios, and Gosman, or Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan?
Not even fucking close.
Not even close. Not even close. And now you are completely...
It's not even close the other way.
I know. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. It is so nuts. I got my guy.
Get into your suck bag.
So I want to give a shout out. Chris Castellini. He's over with Barstool now, but he was my colleague when I was at Locked On. He does Barstool baseball stuff, I think. Big Tigers guy. But he made a video, and I remember I was thinking about this, and then I saw him make the video, and I was like, whoa, wow, it really is that bad. We talk about Chase Daniel as like the all-time bag getter in the NFL, backup QB. He's thrown like 3 passes. He's made like 60 million or whatever, and maybe more than that.
That's so sick.
80 million. Yeah. So sick. He somehow is finesse. Jordan Lyles is the all-time MLB bag getter, I think. You can probably look at some other like big contracts that guys have had that flopped, but like Lyles has never been good. Like he's just never been good. And this guy, how much do you think Jordan Lyles, if he doesn't make another dollar after the end of this contract, how much do you think Jordan Lyles will retire having made in Major League Baseball?
I bet he's made over $100 million.
No.
I just feel like he's been getting a 10-year deal for 15 years.
$10 million deal.
Yeah, just for 15 years.
So he got $8 million in 2020, $8 million in 2021, $6 million in 2022, 8.5 in 2023 with a $1 million buyout, and then he's set for 8.5 next year. He will, and assuming he'll probably make more after next year, he'll get another chance. This guy will somehow always get chances. $55 million. He already is guaranteed made. This incredible career on the paycheck side of things. This dude, pitching wise, has been atrocious. And specifically this year and specifically this month has been even worse. He's 0-8 though this season. 0-8 with a 7.15 ERA. He leads Major League Baseball in earned runs with 45. He leads Major League Baseball in home runs allowed, 14. 14 home runs allowed. And the weirdest part is he actually has a complete game this year. But
Aaron Judge has 14 home runs.
Sorry, what was that?
Aaron Judge has 14 home runs.
You literally think about that. Like that is crazy. So, and specifically to this month, 4 starts, an 8.86 ERA. Peripherals look a bit better though, 6.09 FIP. I'm making fun of him because he's got his bag. Like he can laugh to the bank. It's fine. I will never even dream of making that much money. But man, this guy's a finesser. I know he had a 4.15 and like low 4s ERA guy. That was 2019. Low 4s ERA guys seem to get the bag. Like you can get paid. But 2020 he had a 7.02 ERA. 2021 he had a 5, and all of the underlying stats were brutal. And he led the league in home runs allowed. Do you know how many home runs he allowed in 2021? Take a wild guess.
I'm gonna go 35.
Jack.
40.
38.
Oh,
you were close.
Price is right though.
38. This guy's giving up 212 homers. He might if he keeps getting jobs, he might be in the 500 home run club for pitching.
I'm in. What's the
we should make a graphic. We should
know?
Make a graphic when he gives up his 300th home run. Like that's incredible. That's incredible stuff.
Yeah, usually you can't survive that long. But you know what? Golf clap for Jordan Lyles. I appreciate that.
Every offensive player against him has been Freddie Freeman, basically.
Yes.
Ouch.
So I just thought it was so funny, Arm, when you mentioned he had a 4.2 ERA in 2019. It's like 4 years removed from an average year.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And this guy's he didn't get a 1-year deal. He got a 2-year deal. He's on contract for next year. $8.5 million the Royals owe him. Like, who's his agent?
Is he teaching Brady Singer right now?
Oh, Ballinger Group. He's a Ballinger Group guy. I love the Ballinger Group. They pitch us a lot of the connect us with a lot of the minor league guys that they have. That's how we get a lot of the guests on the call up. Great relationship with them. They're awesome. They're good at what they do.
They're doing a hell of a job with Jordan.
They're doing a hell of a job. Great job, Ballinger Group.
Who's your suck bag, Jack?
My suck bag. Opponents against this certain suck bag would be 15th in baseball in OPS or in OBP in May. Opponents have a 412 OBP against him in the month of May. Sorry, 419 OBP against him in the month of May. 419 would check in at 12th, just behind Lamont Wade Jr. Jack Flaherty's my suck bag. And here's where I'm going with this. He survived the walks in April, right? Like, obviously, we had that loaded conversation. Was Jack Flaherty's outing good? It was 5 no-hit innings, but he walked 7. And Peter, I think you said, like, sort of yes, because he didn't allow a hit and a run. But I think Arm and I were firmly on the no standpoint because it was a mess. 21 walks in 32 innings in April. He had a 3.94 ERA. In May, 12 walks in 19 innings. He's got a 7.8 or 7.58 ERA. Opponents hit 225 against him in April. So they were walking, but they weren't necessarily amassing hits. In May, opponents are hitting 324 with a 419 OBP. It's a joke with Flaherty right now. And the reason he's my suck bag, obviously it's because he's not throwing strikes and opponents are hitting against him at a 325 clip. But it's also because he's lashing back out at the media for asking about his fastball velocity. Like, dude, it's going to catch up to you at some point. And I'm not saying like opponents are, OPSing over 900 against him because he's throwing 86 occasionally. Like, we've seen him run it up to the mid-90s several times in the month of May. But if he's going to be that abrasive about his arsenal, you're a Major League Baseball player, man. Like, you're an all-star. Was he? He was an all-star in 2019. Like, you have to be okay fielding those questions when you throw an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. He wasn't. That shows me a lack of confidence. And the other thing showing me a lack of confidence is the egregious walk numbers.
Yeah, but you can kind of flush all those numbers down the drain and just blame Wilson Contreras, though, right?
Yes. Yes.
I think that's what he did. Apparently, he was a big part of that meeting. We'll see. That's what Contreras said. Which is the funniest part about that whole situation. So, Jack, are you saying that the 7 innings of shutty ball with 10 Ks 2 starts ago, fluke?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. He went 2 1/3 against the Angels, 10 runs, all earned.
It's just like, he's so tough, too, because it's like sometimes he does look good.
Like Aram's saying, 7 shutout innings, 10 Ks, but then he comes out and he can't throw a strike to save his life, and he's throwing 87.
He's got to be. We talk about polarizing. Like, for a guy that's going to finish, he'll probably finish with like a high 4s, low 5s ERA, something like that this year. Maybe he does better than that, but regardless, for the sake of this point, I don't think there'll be a guy with a higher ERA who has more 6 to 7 shutout outings. Like, I think he's gonna, or 6 to 7 shutout inning outings. Like, I think he's gonna have 2 or 3 more of those where it's like 6 innings, 10 Ks. But when we look at the bulk of the year, he's gonna have like a 4.8, and it's just like, what is this?
I think that's so funny you said that, Arm, because like 6 innings, 3 runs is a 4.50 ERA. I don't think he's ever gonna have a start this year that is 6 innings, 3 runs. He's either gonna throw a 7-inning shutout or give up 8 runs in 3 innings, and then that's going to like equal a 4.7 ERA.
Yes.
He's the opposite of a quality start. It's either elite or the worst.
He's not a guy that I'm like, oh, thank goodness Jack's on the mound today. It's like, what Jack are we getting?
Right. Can I just run you through real quick the walk totals, like in each start? 10 starts, rapid fire walk totals. 7, 6, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, 5, 2, 4. Those are crazy numbers.
What's also nuts is one of the ones, it's 2 starts with 1 walk. One of the ones was where he got shelled. So it's like, that's where the confidence is probably oscillating a little bit, where it's like, well, when I'm around the zone, it gets crushed. I got to nibble. I got to find those corners. He's using that like cutter, and when he hits his spots with it, he can have those good starts, but he's got to be pretty perfect. So yeah, it is surprising to me that you feel like as a Major League Baseball player that it's a crazy question to be asked about your velocity. And I'm sure he's tired of hearing about it because of the injuries, but I do think that was a weird one. Okay, let's play over under here then. Over under 5 ERA for Jack Flaherty this year.
You just keep nailing these lines.
Currently a 5.29.
I will go under.
Pip says 4.87.
I was gonna be like 4.95. Like, he's barely going under that.
Yeah. I go slightly under. I go like maybe a 4.75, 4.8.
So you're a big Jack Flaherty guy.
I'm a huge Jack Flaherty guy.
You're higher on Jack Flaherty than Peter.
Yeah, we share a similar first name.
Not the same, similar.
Well, I'm a John. I don't know if
True.
True. Did you just out yourself as a John? I don't think anyone.
Did I give my social security number now too?
Yeah, John Jack McMullen.
Social security brought to you by So Rare MLB. Play So Rare.
How about instead of running us through your social security, run us through the weekend of games that are going to be awesome to watch, and we'll go through. We'll pick a winner, and then we'll say goodbye and usher people into the weekend of good baseball.
That sounds good. Friday at 7:10, we've got Cardinals at Guardians, and it doesn't sound good based on the team's record, but I will tell you that Matthew Liberatore is throwing against Shane Bieber. I will be watching because I find that to be a fascinating pitching matchup. Will you guys be watching?
I will be watching, and I think the Cardinals are going to win that game, even though it's Libby versus Bieber. I mean, the Guardians just can't hit a lefty to save their lives, and the Cardinals have been baseball's best offense this season against right-handed pitching, and Bieber's stuff is a little bit down. I think the Cardinals win that one.
Jackie, you just saw Brian Roquillo. Does that guy not need to be up like ASAP? Ahmed Rosario looks like Peter. You said they can't hit lefties. I know they especially can't hit lefties, but they can't hit. Period. Like it is crazy,
dude. Roquillo's hitting over 340 right now in 40 games in triple. Roquillo's hitting 340.
Phenomenal defender, steals, but like call him up. Try something else. They need to inject some life into that offense.
Also,
I don't think it gets any better. I think this is a statement start for Libby.
Also, I think I'm willing at this point to swallow the tough defensive showings from Bo Naylor occasionally to get his bat in the lineup. I think it's time for Naylor and Roquillo to be Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, like if Bo Naylor goes 1 for 25 in his debut, he's already better than Zunino.
Yes. And what, Cam Gallagher, he's the backup.
And like, what are we watching? Zunino play good defense? I'm watching that noodle arm. I'm watching like a middling.
Teams
blocker.
are running like crazy against the Cleveland Guardians too.
Yeah, I mean, it's defense.
Well, if
I
he's
don't
not
even
defending,
give a shit.
he's actually me.
Useless.
Yeah.
Like, if Mike Zunino is not defending, bro, what is he doing out there?
What other games we got on the slate, Jack?
All right, Friday at 10:10, Mitch Keller and the Pirates in Seattle against George Kirby.
Oh, under.
Yeah, the
under.
game
under.
I was going to say, is this a 1-0 game?